Me, Arya, married, 24 years young, am plotting a grand, long premeditated runaway. No deep reason. My impeccably dressed, iceberg cold CO Luke is simply too much in the lumbar department. If I don't flee now, I swear my lower back will file for honorable retirement. Perfect timing. The 2 scarlet lines on the pregnancy test just handed me a golden ticket to freedom. Buzz, buzz. My iPhone vibrated nonstop under the pillow. Eyes still shut, I fished it out, swiped, and croaked a weak hello. Arya, my baby girl. Are you fighting with that Lucian rascal? Mom's thunderous voice cracked through the speaker. I jerked fully awake. Crap, did my escape already blow up? I cleared my throat, striving for the drowsy innocence of a lamb. Nope, Mom, we're all good. All good? Then why is Lucian bombing my phone screaming that you've vanished? Arya, listen, couples fight and make up before the sheets cool. Quit the childish tantrum and march home this instant. Outside my window, turquoise sea, marshmallow clouds, cotton candy sand, briny breeze. I cupped my still flat belly, my imperial sword, my revolutionary capital. Home. Back to that wolf's den where disagreements end with me slung over a shoulder into the master suite? No, thank you. Mom, I'm not throwing a fit, I said, cradling my stomach and injecting grievance into my tone. I'm out here for prenatal rest. Silence for 3 beats. Prenatal. What? Mom's pitch rocketed advance octave. In the background, Dad barked. Say that again? Yep, I replied, righteous. Hayes says the first trimester is crucial. Total calm, 0 strenuous activity. Lucian's workout intensity is excessive. I fear for the baby. Another hush, then Mom's whispered to Dad, at stadium volume. Old Vance, our girl, says Lucian's too vigorous, so she escaped with our grandchild. Mom, your idea of inside voice needs calibration. After hanging up, I melted into the hotel's cloud-like mattress, finally able to breathe. Arya, ordinary trust fund princess, married the business titan who commands sterling half a year ago. Lucian, 6 feet 1 inch, wide shoulders, slim hips, long legs, 8-pack abs, Adonis belt, face so handsome it should be illegal, only flaw his personality. A walking glacier who considers syllables a waste. Yet this very iceberg turns volcanic, exclusively for me. I still remember our first meeting at a packed gallery. Claustrophobia clawed at me when the crowd surged. He yanked me out to the breezy terrace. He'd gone pale, hyperventilating worse than I. Thinking he was ill, I offered a lollipop. Later I learned, severe social anxiety, and I alone am his drug. My presence tranquilizes him faster than Valium. Ergo, I became his human sedative. Fast forward. I graduated to sterling. Married life? Let's say daylight hours float in quiet elegance, nights drown in choppy, relentless surf. Sometimes I suspect he has Vance's undiagnosed stamina disorder. Massaging my aching lower back, I dug out my runaway manifesto, the page dominated by a single dramatic line. Luke, I've gone to nurture our fetus. Don't miss me. You're too much, my waist can't cope. Your loving wife, Arya. Hopefully the handwritten note will make him see reason. My iPhone rang again, this time my bestie Vivian. Arya, where'd you bolt to? Spill so I can cover for you. Her righteous fury warmed my heart. I spilled. Coral, blue coral. Tell no one, especially not Luke. Relax, my lips are sealed, Viv vowed. Reassured, I ordered a decadent seafood extravaganza. Unbeknownst to me, on the other end Viv beamed at a tall man whose slender fingers tipped her chin, devilish grin in place. Wife, where's Arya hiding? The man murmured. Can't. I promised, Viv whimpered, eyes drifting to the limited Edian purse beside him. Really? Chuckling, Chase, Lucian's college roommate, shoved the bag into her arms and brushed a scorching kiss under her ear. Now, clutching her trophy, Viv simpered. Coral, blue coral. Thanks, babe. Mid-bite into a lobster claw, I sneezed. Who's cursing me? Next morning I woke to golden sunlight and a voice itching to sing. I slipped into a floral sundress and floated downstairs for leisurely brunch. Soft jazz drifted through the bistro. I chose a window table, menu in hand, when the ambient temperature plummeted 10 degrees. A familiar crisp cedar scent whooshed behind me. My spine turned to cement. No way, this fast. I creaked my neck around like a rusted robot. Bam! There he was, the face capable of stopping hearts. Lucian. Black tailored suit, no silk tie, collar open, aura broadcasting I'm pissed off. His obsidian eyes locked onto me, tide pools of unreadable emotion. The restaurant chatter flatlined. Patrons stared, half thrilled, half terrified. Hey, I squeaked, waving like a broken claw. Fancy meeting you on vacation? Silent, he pulled out the opposite chair and sat. Legs crossed, he leaned in, pressure suffocated me. Aria, he rasped, as though throttling something raw. Having fun? I shrank. F fun? I'm here for prenatal zen, doctor's orders, good mood mandatory. Prenatal alone? His gaze slid to my still flat belly, pupils diluting to ink. I saw your memo. He flicked the crumpled handwritten note onto the table. The line, "You're too much, my waist can't cope," flashed neon under the chandelier. Gasps fluttered from nearby tables. My cheeks combusted. I longed for spontaneous invisibility. My vocal cords froze. Lucian's arctic glare thawed a millimeter, replaced by resigned doting. He stroked my cheek with warm fingertips. You jet off without a card, he scolded gently. What do you crave? I'll have the chef make it. I blinked. Wrong script. Shouldn't he drag me to a soundproof suite and go full caveman? Yet here he was, menu concierge. Spicy crawfish, I blurted. His brows snapped together. No spice when pregnant. I want spice. I inflated my chest, belly bargaining chip in play. Deny me and I'll vanish again. We locked eyes for 30 thundering seconds. The entire bistro forgot to breathe. Finally he exhaled defeat. Fine, mild heat. He signaled the server, tone glacial. 1 spicy crawfish, light on chili, bird's nest porridge, prenatal set meal. The server scribbled and bolted. I smirked. Pregnancy immunity feels good. Too good to last. When the platter arrived, aroma heaven-bound, I snapped on gloves, only for a larger hand to confiscate my crawfish. I'll feed you, Lucian decreed. He peeled, daintily dunked meat in broth, held it to my lips. I chewed obediently. Delicious, yet mortifying, his and hers forkfuls under Klieg-light stares. Lucian, I whispered, I can manage. You'll get oil on your fingers. He didn't look up, just kept shelling, one for me, one for him, a flawless assembly line of public indulgence. I'm not scared. I am. He lifted his eyes, gaze burning into mine. Your hand is mine to hold. My heart lurched, skipping a beat. Help! This man was spitting sweet nothings with that stone-cold face again. I spent the whole meal on pins and needles. The second the plates were cleared, Lucian hauled me back to our room. I braced for the trial, clutching the hem of my shirt. Instead he pressed me onto the bed and pulled the quilt over me. Sleep a little. He sat at the edge, voice edged with exhaustion. I'll watch over you. The faint bluish shadows under his eyes told me he hadn't closed them once, racing here overnight. My smug little victory about running off dissolved into Vance's ache in my throat. Why, you're not mad? I whispered. Mad, he answered instantly, then slid his fingers gently through my hair. But more afraid you'd get hurt. His hand was warm, the touch feather light, as if I were a priceless relic. Aria, he bent until our foreheads touched, sounding fragile for the first time ever. Please stop scaring me, okay? My nose stung, tears almost spilled. This man always the same. Toughest shell wrapped around the softest heart. I sniffed hard, forcing the tears back, and tilted my chin. Then you have to promise, more self-control. Lucian's body stiffened, ears flushing scarlet at lightning speed. He cleared his throat, straightened, and blinked everywhere but at me. Got it. So even the iceberg CEO can blush. My inner demon did a little cartwheel. What had started as my solo baby moon in coral morphed into house arrest for 2. Lucian kept his word, never more than 3 feet away. I walked the private beach. He trailed behind, jacket and water bottle ready. I wanted to watch dolphins. He booked the entire pavilion, so the stands were deserted except for us. I craved street squid. He bought the stand and told the vendor to grill for me alone. My relaxing pregnancy vacation had turned into a billionaire's imperial tour. Lucian, must you be this extra? I finally exploded when he tried to purchase Vance's ice cream truck I'd glanced at twice. He gave me Vance's innocent look. I only want you happy. Your version makes me miserable. I stomped. Might as well be in jail. His face darkened. Jail. The air pressure around him plummeted. Oops, I'd poked the lion again. I rolled my eyes, clutched my belly, and yelped, Ow, tummy, Tummy hurts. Lucian went paper white, the Arctic aura vanished. In one stride he scooped me up, voice shaking. Where does it hurt? We're going to the hospital, now. He charged toward the valet's circle as if I were in labor that second. Snuggled against his chest, I peeked at his clenched jaw and secretly grinned. Serves you right, Scary. At Coral, after charts and monitors, Hayes beamed at us. Sterling, relax, baby's perfect. Just keep mom's emotions stable. No roller coasters. Lucian exhaled like he'd been underwater and sagged against the wall. I stuck my tongue out, guilty. Outside, he stayed silent, face still stormy. I poked his arm. Still mad. He didn't answer, just tucked me into the car. The silence felt thick. I twisted my fingers. Sorry. I shouldn't have tricked you. You're just so tense. He kept driving, eyes on the road. Panic fluttered. He'd never iced me out this long. Lucian. I tugged his sleeve, softening my voice. Luc. I was wrong. The car screeched to the curb. He unbuckled, turned, and pinned me with a dark, bloodshot stare. Arya, he bit out. Do you know how terrified I was? He didn't wait, cupped the back of my head and kissed me hard. Not the usual slow melt. This was punishment and panic, fierce, claiming, flooded with the terror of almost losing me. He took my mouth, no breath, no mercy, until the world blurred. When he finally drew back, we were both panting, foreheads welded. Next time, he rasped, grazing my swollen lip, if you dare fake anything about our baby, I'll. He hesitated, fishing for a threat big enough. Through my days I teased. What, lock me in a tower? His breath hitched, gaze slid to my kiss-bruised mouth, pupils dilating. He swallowed. I'll keep you in bed 3 days straight, no walking. Me. Scoundrel. My face combusted. I punched his shoulder. That's exactly why I ran. He trapped my fist, kissed my knuckles, eyes gleaming. My fault. Quick confession. So I'm following scientific guidance. Which science? I blinked. He produced a paperback from the door pocket. Healthy Pregnancy for Expectant Fathers, must read. I flipped it open. A chapter heading leaped out. Second trimester, 4 to 6 months moderate intimacy encouraged. Strengthens bond, lifts mood. I snapped it shut and hurled it back like it burned. Lucian. Beast. He tucked the book away, started the engine, smile wicked. The doctor said to trust science. Help. I'd jumped from one wolf den into Vance's even bigger one. From that day forward the guide became his royal decree. He stayed gentle, my bump was rounding fast, but the predator stare kept sharpening. Example. I step out of the shower in pajamas. He's on the sofa, gaze gliding from ankle to collarbone, Adam's apple bobbing before he grabs a finance magazine, upside down. Example. I bend to pick a crayon. He zooms over. Careful, let me. Hand accidentally branding my lower back for 5 scorching seconds. I feel like under 24-hour guard. Can't be eaten but sniffed daily. Then Vivian the traitor flew in, conscience finally twinging. Arya. Baby. Missed you so much. She bear-hugged me at the door. Lucian followed with her luggage, looking like a bellboy carved from ice. What are you doing here? He asked, dropping the bags. Came to spoil my girl. She linked arms, winking. Men can't nurse pregnant goddesses. He snorted, translation. You get 5 minutes. With Viv around, life felt less like a sauna. We shopped, spaed, gossiped. Lucian still tailed us, but with her as buffer his laser gaze cooled a notch. That night we lay side by side whispering. Arya, honestly Lucian adores you, Viv sighed. You should have seen him when you bolted, Chase said apocalypse. He'd torched the world to find you. I glowed inside but sniffed, please, he's a control freak on steroids. Keep whining. Everyone wants a jet-setting AC that heats for only them. She pinched my cheek. Mission time. She fished a tiny box from her purse. Chase couriered this, couple's aid. I opened it. Wisps of black lace that couldn't even be called a nightgown. And it's maternity lingerie. Me. Viv. Vance. I grabbed a pillow and hurled it at her. You and your Chase are both rotten. She ducked, laughing so hard her whole body shook. Hey, I picked this out super carefully. Guaranteed the moment CEO Sterling sees it he'll turn into a fire-breathing dragon right on the spot. I chased her around in mock fury, and somehow the little nightie slipped to the floor. Speak of the devil. The master suite door opened, and Lucian walked in carrying a cup of warm oat milk. Time for your milk. He handed it to me, his gaze flicking casually to the black lace puddle on the carpet. He froze. The air solidified. Vivian wisely clapped a hand over her mouth, eyes sparkling with gossip, and oiled her way out at top speed. Aria, I just remembered I have a call. You two take it slow." Bang! The door shut. The huge bedroom was suddenly just Lucian and me, and that eye-catching scrap of lace. I felt my face ignite at light speed. Lucian's stare slid from the nightie to my face. His eyes were as dark as ink spilled on midnight. He bent, scooped up the lingerie, those long fingers pinching the skinny strap. The visual punch was ridiculous. "What's this?" he asked, already knowing, voice hoarse. "Viviv sent it," I stammered. "Oh." Vance's eyebrow arched. He closed in step by step. "For you to wear." I gulped and shrank back. He reached the bed, caging me between him and the mattress. He laid the nightie beside my pillow, then brushed my burning cheek with his knuckles. "Aria," he breathed, hot and tickling against my ear. "Want to see the dragon wake up?" My brain exploded. "Help, Vivian, you jinx." He laughed low, chest vibrating, the sound indecently sexy. "Tonight, put it on for me, okay?" That coaxing voice felt like a devil whispering. I looked at the raw lust flooding his eyes and, possessed, nodded. In that second I swear I saw a dragon stretch awake. I came. He watched me, voice rough. And I felt myself melting in his scorching arms. Science can be overrated. Next morning I woke late, my lower back as flat as if a steamroller had camped on it. I lay sprawled like a salted fish, zero will to move. Lucian, the culprit, looked disgustingly refreshed as he sat peeling me Vance orange. When he saw I was awake, he slipped a segment between my lips, all satisfied tenderness. "Morning. Want more sleep?" I chewed, glared. "Lucian, you liar. What happened to self-control?" "I was disciplined," he said, innocent. "Followed the book to the letter. The book told you to torment me half the night. It said keep the pregnant woman relaxed," he murmured, kissing my cheek. "And last night, weren't you relaxed?" "Me? Relaxed my foot." All I remember is begging for mercy. Seeing the laughter in his eyes, I rolled over and presented him with my back. Undeterred, he spooned me, chin on my shoulder, breath warm on my neck. "Mad?" he asked softly. "No. So, you want more?" "Lucian." I whipped around and pinched his cheeks. "Can your brain think about anything else?" He let me, eyes shining with fond smugness. "Yeah, such as you and the baby." He kissed my captured hand. "Aria, give me a little girl, cute and clingy just like you." My heart dissolved. This man could disarm me every time. I cuddled into him, circling my round belly. What if it's another boy? "Works too," he decided. "We'll push him out of the nest early, so he doesn't compete for my wife." I laughed. "So childish, jealous of your own son." "I don't care." He tightened his arms. "You're mine. Only mine." That arrogant line tasted like honey. After another week in Coral, he escorted me home. Homecoming looked fit for a queen. All the Sterling and Vance elders were lined up at the front portico. The second I appeared, they surrounded me as if I were a national panda. "Oh, my dear granddaughter-in-law, finally back." Margaret, my elegant mother-in-law, clutched my hand, eyes red. "Aria, name anything you crave. I'll cook it." Mom elbowed in. Lucian's father and my dad, two titans of industry, now gawked at my bump like overgrown boys. Even cool teen Ava trotted up, shoving a gift box at me. "For you and the little nephew." I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I felt less like a runaway than a survivor airlifted from the wild. Lucian, edged outside the ring, frowned. He slid in, extricated me, tucked me against him. "Aria's tired. She needs rest." Ignoring the chorus of protests, he swept me upstairs. Back in our familiar master suite, I exhaled. "Look at the fuss you stirred," I scolded. "They're too loud," he said, kneeling to ease off my shoes. "They'll scare the baby." His palm curved over my bump, tenderness dripping from his eyes. "Luke," I asked suddenly, "after the baby comes, will he fight me for you?" Lucian paused. He lifted his head, black eyes solemn, considered seriously, then stated with gravity, "I'll make sure the kid knows who's boss in this house." Me? I could already foresee the circus my life was about to become. Years later, my premonition proved flawless. 9 months flew. One morning I delivered. A boy, wrinkly like a mini old man, but with Lucian's brows already in place. I lay gazing at the bundle beside me, maternal love flooding. Lucian stared at the bundle beside me, pure vinegar. Once we left Coral, my center of gravity shifted from Lucian to this tiny creature named Zachary. He cried, my heart shattered. He smiled, the sun rose just for us. And Lucian morphed from CEO tyrant to jealous kindergartner. When I nursed Zach, Lucian would hover. I'm hungry too. Shoo! When I rocked Zach to sleep, he'd bundle us both, whispering, You've held him 10 minutes, my turn. I'd peck Zach's silky cheek. Lucian instantly tapped his own lips. Right here. That's how I learned the meaning of sweet burden. One big, one small, both clingy. Tonight I'd finally rocked Zach to sleep. I collapsed. Lucian stepped from the bathroom, hair damp, towel riding low, water drops tracing the ridges of his abs and slipping past the V of his hips, obscenely hot. He lifted the duvet, slid in behind me. Baby, he rasped. I snapped alert. No way, exhausted. I know. He kissed my earlobe, large hand settling on my belly. Just holding you. I relaxed foolishly. His palm began to roam, breath turning thick. Lucian. I seized his wrist. You said just holding. Checking your postpartum recovery. He lied with a straight face. Verdict. I hissed. He hummed, kissed a scorching path to my ear. Perfect. Green light for rehab drills. Get lost. I kicked. He caught my ankle, rolled over, pinned me, eyes blazing. Wife, I've been on forced rations for a year. He sounded pitiful. Don't be cruel. I couldn't decide whether to laugh or strangle him, when from the nursery crib beside us baby Zach wailed. Lucian's whole body went rigid. I shoved him away at once. The baby's crying. I slipped out of bed to lift Zach, Lucian trailing me with the surly face of a kid whose lollipop just got snatched. I cradled Zach and cooed softly. The little guy nuzzled my shoulder. In seconds the wails stopped and he smacked his lips, fast asleep. I stared at that adorable sleeping face and couldn't resist kissing it again. When I turned around, I met Lucian's wronged husband, eyes. He pointed at Zach, then at himself, soundlessly lodging a complaint. I burst out laughing. I tucked Zach into the nursery crib, walked back to Lucian, rose on tiptoe, and pressed a quick kiss to his lips. Okay, no more jealousy, I coaxed as if soothing a child. When the baby's in deep sleep, I'll make it up to you, deal? His eyes lit like stars flaring on a dark night. He scooped me up, strode straight to the bathroom. What are you doing? I yelped. Seizing the window. Fast in, fast out, he clipped. Me. Animal. From that night on, our house acquired a bizarre food chain. Zach is jealous of my attention, Lucian is jealous of Zach's, and I'm caught in the middle, basking in double helpings of love and double torment. Time zipped by. Zach turned 3. He inherited Lucian's killer looks and my talent for making mischief, becoming a universally adored yet headache-inducing imp. His favorite sport? Stealing me from Lucian. At dawn, while I'm still half asleep, a tiny silhouette scrambles onto the mattress, wedges between us, and chirps in a syrupy voice. Mommy, wake up! The sun's slapping your butt! Lucian's face darkens. He lifts the third wheel, out by the scruff. Zachary, I've warned you, no crawling into Mommy's bed. But I want to sleep with Mommy. Hugging his Ultraman, Zach is righteousness itself. No. Why can Dad? Because Mommy is my wife. Mommy's my mom too. Big versus small, every single morning they wage fierce oral combat over bed ownership. I usually wake to their bickering, then pacify each with a good morning kiss. That Saturday I actually had nowhere to be, so I dozed on. Half dreaming, I felt someone kissing my cheek. Assuming it was Lucian, I mumbled, Quit it, let me sleep, a milky voice corrected. Mommy, it's not Dad, it's me. I opened my eyes to Zach's magnified, gorgeous little face. The second he saw me awake, he produced a rose from behind his back. Mommy, for you. You're the woman I love most. My heart puddled. I hugged him and smacked a loud kiss. Thanks, sweetheart. Mommy loves you most too. Right then the bedroom door opened. Lucian walked in with breakfast, stopped short at the sight of us lovebirds, gaze zeroing in on Zach's rose, then on me, dangerous. Zachary, he said, setting the tray down, voice icy. Who taught you that line? Zach peeked from my arms, proud. TV. That's how the handsome uncle chases the pretty auntie. Lucian's face blackened further. He plucked Zach off my lap, planted him on the carpet. From today, no more soap operas, he decreed. Why? Zach protested. No reason. Lucian towered over him, then pulled the biggest, reddest bloom from the bedside vase and handed it to me with sovereign authority. Arya, you can belong to one man only, me. Zach glanced from Dad's mega rose to his own mini one, lip trembling, then bawled. Wah-ah. Daddy's mean. Daddy's a big villain. Me. I scrambled to comfort the boy, threw Lucian a look half scolding, half amused. This big child, even jealous of his own son, and so inventively. Once the little fire was out, the big one sulked. All morning Lucian wore a frosty mask that screamed, I'm upset, pamper me. I peeled him Vance apple, he wouldn't bite. I poured him water, he wouldn't sip. I sat to watch TV. He clicked it off with a snap. I finally snapped myself. Lucian, what exactly do you want? He swiveled his head, obsidian eyes wounded. You haven't kissed me good morning. I stared, stunned. That's it? His wrong puppy look cracked me up. I leaned in and planted a firm kiss on his thin, tight lips. Happy now, Sterling? The corners of his mouth rocketed up. He forced them back down, issuing a regal, But those sparkling eyes betrayed him. I shook my head, father and son, a perfect comedy duo. After Zach conked out that night, Lucian cornered me in the bathroom. He banded his arms around me from behind, chin in the crook of my neck, voice low and vaguely aggrieved. Babe, today you said you love him most. It took me a beat to realize him meant Zach. He's my son, I said, half laughing, half exasperated. I'm your Luke, he countered, nipping my neck. You have to love me most. Fine, you're the crown jewel. Happy? Nope. He spun me to face him, eyes dead serious. Prove it. How? He answered with a kiss, slow, dominating, drenched in possession. I clung to his shoulders, dizzy, letting him pillage at will. Now, believe me, he rasped when we broke apart, forehead to forehead. Gasping, I nodded. Yes, I believed. Any slower and my lumbar discs were history. A man's competitive streak in certain arenas is terrifying, even when the rival is his own kid. To fortify his sole sovereign status, Lucian's antics have grown increasingly juvenile. Zach drew a picture of me holding his hand. Next day, a life-sized wedding photo. Lucian kissing me in a cathedral train dominated the living room wall. Zach molded a prettiest mommy trophy from clay at Sunshine. Day 3, a solid gold, diamond-encrusted best wife ever crystal trophy glittered on my vanity, foil-stamped certificate signed with his flamboyant autograph. Under the chandelier glare, that thing could blind someone. I found Lucian in the study. Could you not one-up our son at everything? He didn't glance up from the acquisition file. No. The boy must learn from infancy who rules this keep. I needed my temples. Father and son had escalated from vying for favor to full territorial defense, and I was the disputed land. That afternoon Vivian and Chase brought their daughter over. Stella, moon-faced and half a year younger than Zach, is a pocket-sized princess. The minute the kids met, they formed a two-person carnival. Zach the gentleman, hauling out every toy and splitting his beloved strawberry birthday cake down the middle. I watched them misty-eyed. Arya, look at that, straight out of a K-drama. Vivian cracked, pumpkin seeds in hand, living her best auntie-life. I nodded. Adorable, right? In the corner, two glacial stares fixed on the miniature sweethearts. Lucian and Chase, both alpha glaciers, each watching his progeny abducted by the other, faces thunderous. Chase, Lucian warned, rein in your girl. Chase sipped his tea unhurried. Your boy approached mine. He's 3. He knows nothing. She's 2.5. She knows less. The two men, average age 30+, locked horns over toddler diplomacy. Viv and I exchanged looks, mutual eye rolls. Kids playing together is perfectly normal, I offered. Not normal, Lucian decreed. He stepped over, lifted Zach. Zachary, don't hand your belongings to strangers. Zach blinked, baffled. But Mommy says share. Mommy's rule is suspended here, Lucian shot back. Meanwhile, Chase hoisted Stella. Moon, never take gifts from boys. Little Moon blinked, not sure what planet the adults were on. So the darling childhood sweethearts scene crumbled into a shotgun separation, courtesy of two fathers too petty to share. Vivian and I were completely speechless. That night, after Chase and his family left, I finally cornered Lucian for a lecture. Lucian, you were way out of line today. The kids were playing just fine. Why did you have to butt in? He was loosening his silk tie. The motion paused as he glanced back at me, looking utterly justified. I was providing early education. What early education? The kind that teaches him not to be lured away by just any woman. He walked over, slipped his arms around my waist from behind, and rested his chin in the hollow of my neck. Just like me, I've only ever fallen for you. He was unleashing the sweet talk again. My irritation evaporated the instant the words left his mouth. I turned, twisting his tie between my fingers. Still, you can't teach him that. What if he can't find a wife someday? Even better. He bent and kissed the tip of my nose. Then no other woman can steal my daughter-in-law and distract you from me. That logic. I actually had no comeback. You're a tyrant, I muttered. Hum. He agreed shamelessly, scooped me up, and headed for the bed. And right now the tyrant is coming to claim his private territory. My heart lurched. I clutched the front of his shirt. Wait, today's not a safe day. He kept walking, a wicked smile tugging at his lips. Perfect. Let's make another little girl. Daddies don't steal mommy. Lucian, you jerk. I don't want more kids. Put me down. Objection overruled. Yua. Reality check. Arguing with a fit, thick-skinned CEO who can invent excuses faster than a courtroom drama is the most pointless activity on earth. My territory was ruthlessly invaded once again. Life rolled on in this sweet, uproariously messy routine. I thought we'd stay happy forever. Then our second child arrived. A girl. Just as Lucian had wished, a perfect little princess. What he didn't expect, the princess was stuffed with black cotton. She outpranked her big brother and outsnuggled her daddy for my attention. Lucian's alpha status faced its biggest threat. Our daughter, full name Luna, nickname Luna, inherited my looks and Lucian's scheming brain. A tiny mastermind. Unlike Zach, who charged head-on, Luna favored flanking maneuvers. Example, Lucian would announce, "Tonight mommy is mine," and the second he finished, Luna would appear in the doorway hugging a pillow, eyes shimmering. "Daddy, mommy, I had a scary dream." One glimpse of that miniature copy of my face and those watery eyes, my heart melted. "Come here, baby, crawl in with mommy." I lifted the comforter. Luna dove in like a little swallow. Then she'd peek out from my arms and shoot a triumphant grin at Lucian, whose face was now the color of a cast-iron pot. I could almost see smoke curling from his head. Luna didn't just steal cuddles, she filed complaints. Once, Lucian sneaked a kiss on my cheek while I napped. Next morning, Luna toured all 4 grandparents, sobbing, "Grandma, Grandpa, Daddy bullied Mommy." He stole kisses while she slept. The elders erupted. Lucian was summoned to the study for a 2-hour family values seminar. When he emerged, the unshakable CEO looked ruffled. From then on, he regarded Luna with something bordering on fear. He'd finally realized the cuddly jacket hid a black belt manipulator. Daddy-daughter Cold War escalated. Lucian bought me a $10 million diamond necklace. Luna spent all her allowance on a single lollipop and cooed, "Mommy, this is all my love for you." Of course I accepted both, clutching the necklace in one hand, sucking the lollipop with the other, blissed out. Lucian whisked me to a Michelin-starred candlelit dinner. Luna and Zach built me a Lego castle in the living room, then each kissed a cheek. Welcome home, our queen mommy. I was, hands down, the happiest woman alive. Lucian, meanwhile, lived in daily agony over whether I loved him or the kids more. That anxiety peaked on his 40th birthday. I teamed up with the 3 children and threw him a surprise party. He pushed open the front door to find balloons, crepe streamers, and all 5 of us in matching family tees, birthday cake aglow. The unbreakable man got misty-eyed. Yes, child number 3 had arrived, another boy nicknamed Leo. Lucian cradled tiny Leo with one arm and wrapped the other around me, Zach and Luna glued to his legs. "Make a wish, Daddy," the kids urged. He closed his eyes, hands solemnly clasped. "What did you wish for?" I asked when he opened them. Starlight filled his dark gaze. He pressed a soft kiss to my lips. "I wished," he said, voice steady, "that my Arya will belong only to me next life and the one after that." Tears spilled before I could stop them. This fool. This overgrown, domineering boy. He was the luckiest accident I ever had. Years fluttered by like pages in a breeze. A decade later I was 35, Lucian 45. The kids had grown. Zach, now a lanky teen, Lucian's mirrored features but my sunshine personality, ruled the school halls. Luna, willowy, locally famous for her beauty, was twice the schemer she'd been, completely wrapped around her father's heart while driving him crazy. Little Leo, mini-me and resident food lover, spent his days agonizing over what was for dinner. As for me, after 10 years of training, I was no longer the Lucian could pin down in a single move. My battle power was maxed. On our wedding anniversary, the kids conveniently voted themselves into Grandma and Grandpa's care. The Sterling estate was ours alone. He'd set up candlelight, filet mignon, Cabernet, soft jazz, Vance echo of 10 years earlier. He sat across from me in a razor-cut suit, gaze as burning and focused as ever. Happy anniversary, wife. He raised his glass. I swirled the red, smiled a fox's smile. Happy indeed, Luke. After dessert, he laced our fingers, aiming for the master suite. I tugged back. From behind me, I produced a tie. Not his mine. I stepped close, looped it under his chin the way he'd done 1,000 times, and made him lower his head. Sterling, I whispered against his ear, rising on my toes. Feeling adventurous tonight? His body locked, his Adam's apple jerked. Shock flooded his eyes, then crystallized into raw, eager anticipation. How adventurous! Gravel had replaced his voice. Instead of answering, I hooked the tie and pulled him, step by step, toward the bedroom. The door shut with a soft bang of my heel. I pushed him onto the mattress and looked down. Gone was the cool tyrant. In his place lay a gorgeous hostage waiting for sentence. I smirked. Lucian, what goes around comes around. 10 years. Think it's my turn to wear the crown. He seized my wandering hand. Twin infernos blazed in his stare. Excitement, surrender, absolute love. Words weren't necessary. He flipped us in one fluid surge. My queen, he rumbled, pinning me beneath him, laughter vibrating through his chest. Your kingdom is yours forever, and I gladly remain your most devoted captive. Moonlight poured through the window. Our story keeps writing itself. You chase, I run. You spoil, I sass. A lifetime with him, more than enough. Thanks for listening. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate our tale? If you enjoyed it, like and share with friends. Drop your thoughts below, subscribe for more stories, and see you next time.